he would write Simpsons episodes at his favorite coffee shop, quote, drinking copious amounts of coffee and smoking endless cigarettes. When California passed an anti-smoking law, he entered the diner with tools, personally removed the table, paid for it with cash, and then installed it in his own house.
He is Ron Swanson. Hey everybody, welcome to 500 Open Tabs. I'm Hannah Hillam.
And I'm Kaveh Taherian. Hannah, guess what? Today we've got a special guest. He is an Iranian-Canadian writer and co-executive producer on Crave's original half-hour comedy Late Bloomer. He famously wrote and directed the award-winning short film The Last King, which is the world's only Persian-language adaptation of a Stephen King property. He also co-hosts Cinema Rex, which is an excellent podcast about Iranian film that I was on last year for their Persepolis episode.
Sorry.
So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show yet another one of us, Kaveh Mohebbi. Kaveh, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, other Kaveh, and very nice to meet you, Hannah.
You too.
And I apologize for the avalanche of Kavehs that have been bestowed upon you from doing this podcast.
I don't apologize for anything. I'm contributing more to it. I'm bringing more and more. We just found out there's another one that we're going to get on the show. I mean, I don't know if we're going to get him on the show, but we'd like to get him on the show. The other Kaveh we were just talking about, I'm like, we should get him on the show.
Oh, I'm going to nod and pretend like I know what you're talking about.
You literally already forgot. What a surprise.
Yeah, I did. What do you expect?
Your book club.
Oh! Okay. Listen, I consider my life enriched with every Kaveh that is added to it.
Yeah.
No pressure. So.
No, yeah. I'm going to be interested in where I rank in the Kavehs when you get your audience feedback. But
one of them can be a doctor. So I mean, he might be number one.
The doctor is kind of always the number one. Yeah, that's the one that we all strive to be.
Where does comedy writer fit on that ranking? in a Survivor.
I mean, you have work. Like, you've made a show. You certainly rank higher than me, although that's not a very high bar to clear, unfortunately.
The doctor hadn't worked.
I'm going to rank all of you right now, and this is great coming from a white woman. Okay,
love it. Let's do it.
Number one is Dr. Kaveh. Number two is you, because I've never met Rastegar. Number three is Rastegar, and number four is Taherian.
Yeah, naturally. I'm usually at the bottom. Yeah. As far as musicians concerned, though, just so you know, Rastegar played bass for Sting, right?
Oh,
so when Sting was playing a concert, he was like, Kaveh Rastegar is going to be my bassist, which Rastegar's always oh, it's fine, it's not a big deal. And I'm like, no, Sting is insane.
Yeah.
And so the fact that Sting would be like, that's the guy I'm okay with to play bass for me as I sing, to me is like,
yeah, that's really cool. At most, I've been stung by one bee in my life, so that doesn't even really come close. But
that bee didn't even play music.
No.
He buzzed a little, but I like that this podcast is slowly also turning it's a quiet coup d'etat to become 500 open Kavs instead, and we're just gonna meet all of them when you get there, and it's just gonna be us there.
Are we gonna do a Kaveh tab, like a Kuma tab, but with all the Kavehs fighting each other at some point? Yeah. I feel like that would be kind of fun.
Yeah. It's the multiverse.
Whoa.
It's the multiverse of Kavehs.
Yeah, I would die immediately.
Of course,
that's all I know.
Kaveh-verse.
Yeah, the Kaveh-verse.
By the way, I think I'm going to call you Amerikaveh and you're Canadian Kaveh.
Kavnadian.
Kavnadian and Amerikaveh.
Yeah.
Wait, before we forget, so tell us we were going to talk to you about all this other stuff, but I didn't know about the Stephen King adaptation. So can you please explain what this was to it? What was the story?
Yeah. Stephen King used to have a program that I don't think he does anymore, but it's called the Dollar Babies program. So basically, if you can submit to his website with a pitch as to why you'd want to make one of his short stories into a non-commercial project, so you can make a short film out of it. You can't do something to make money. You can't take it to say I want to take your project and take it to Netflix, for instance. But if you can make a nice solid pitch, his manager reads them all and then picks what you win a contest essentially. And I came home pretty drunk from a wedding many years back.
Great start.
Before I went to sleep, I was browsing Reddit, and I had just seen a post under, I think, our literature that said the Stephen King's Dollar Babies is open right now. And I was like, what is that? I like Stephen King. I checked it, and I wrote out the email to them pretty drunk coming home and forgot about it.
Love it. That's the perfect way to reach Stephen King, by the way. Highly drunk and on cocaine when he wrote all of his books.
I don't think you can be sober in order to talk to him.
Yeah.
Even if he's sober now. It's just the only way to like link up.
And in all honesty, I'd completely forgotten I'd done it till I got the response saying that I was awarded the rights to his story. And I was like, what was this? Oh, cool. And it was like a month or two later. And
that's awesome.
So I got the non-commercial rights to a story he had written called The Doctor's Case, which is it's a Sherlock Holmes adaptation that he had written. And it's about the one mystery that Watson solves first. So this was in a collection called Nightmare and Dreamscapes. I think he published this collection of short stories in the mid-'80s. And I acquired the rights to this. And my first thought was, it would be cool to do something like this in Farsi, in Persian, just because I didn't think, I was unsure at the time if that's ever happened. And I did a copious amount of research. I realized there had never been a Stephen King adaptation in Farsi, in the Iranian language. So it was my first kind of thing to go. And part of the contract, it's cool. Like, I have to sign the contract. I literally have to send $1 to his office in Maine, Bangor, Maine. I have to literally send it to his, his manager. And in the credits, you have to include Stephen King's name. So it's not even something where you have to market it as a Stephen King project. So I now have in IMDb a shared co-writing credit with Stephen King. I had to send a copy of this short film on DVD to his office or wherever in Maine, and his name's all over the credits. And
nice.
Our thing, I'm proud of it. COVID hit right 5 days before production. It was March of 2020. Yeah, that thing again, sneaking up on you all the time in every corner.
Every horror story.
So it went from being a production in Toronto to being a production in LA, but also delayed for almost over a year. The cast had to be reshuffled. I'm ultimately proud of how it looks. I'm very proud of the actors involved. It kind of has a Knives Out feel before even Knives Out was a thing, which is kind of Knives Out, those mysteries have always been a thing, but it kind of did have that we're going to do a locked room mystery. We're going to solve it with eccentric characters. Here's a cast. So it had that Agatha Christie vibe to it, but in Farsi. And I'll happily send you a copy of it. I'll send you a link. I was going to say,
yes, please. Is it something that's publicly available that we would be able to see, or is this something you have on a private channel?
It might be a Vimeo link, but I can just send you whatever we have.
I'm asking is it something that you'd be okay with? I'm sure people who are listening might be interested in seeing it if that's something you want to share. But if you don't want to share it, we don't have to put it in there.
I think it's somewhere. If people want to, we're not hiding it from anyone at this point, but I just don't think we've actively put it up either.
Our tens of listeners might be interested in watching it. So you can at least get 10 more views if you're interested.
And we had Maz Jobrani, the famous Iranian stand-up comedian.
Oh shit, Maz is in it. That's funny.
He played the Sherlock Holmes character. He was our lead. We called him Shahryar.
Yeah. Wait, anybody? Sorry, just a couple of name drops. So who else was in it that we might know?
Nazanin
I might
Noor,
know, I should say.
Nazanin Noor, Tara Grammy. They both played sisters.
You got all the big Instagram people in it, basically.
We got the big Iranian LA Instagram social media collective. It was cool. There's an Iranian comedian named Taherian who also.
Yeah, I know Taherian.
Yeah. I mean, it was a large sort of pool of people. This
is King's Row, by the way, for those who are listening. These are all the most famous people online of Iranian descent.
I mean, it was cool because the pitch to them was all would you not want to be involved in this short film? No one's going to make any money off this, but you get to be part of this Stephen King thing that hasn't been done in the Iranian culture.
That sounds great.
Yeah, that's an absolute yes there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well,
I can't wait to watch it. Yeah.
I'll send it to you.
That sounds great, man. I'm sorry that it didn't exactly turn out the way that you 100% wanted it to, but that's filmmaking, baby.
That's filmmaking, and that's life.
Yeah. So, and that's COVID.
Rolling, exactly.
And that's COVID, more importantly.
And that's
the
last 5 years. The way that derailed the entire world is fascinating.
Yeah. My short film is the least of the problems.
You also host the Cinema Rex podcast, which I mentioned at the top as well. Why don't you tell our audience a little bit about that and how that came to be with you and your co-host?
Yeah, Cinema Rex is a humble little podcast that just kind of started out of the fact that I hadn't seen. I'm Iranian, but I was born and raised I was born in Vancouver, raised in Canada my entire life, and I've never been to Iran. I speak Farsi with a very anglicized accent, like anyone who's a native Iranian speaker can tell. But I had discovered quite late in my life that one of the purest ways to connect with my culture and my country and my past is through Iranian films. And because I'm a filmmaker and a writer, it just seemed like a natural conclusion to at least watch as many films from Iran as I can, but also keep a constant roll of like this podcast forces me to watch at least every other week one Iranian film every year, all year. So throughout the year, I'm constantly watching Iranian movies, finding new, and they each kind of feel not dissimilar to this podcast. It kind of feels like each little research project, like I'm doing like a university thesis on a film every week. So I do that with my co-host, good friend, filmmaker. His name is Farhan Maradi, and we pick one Iranian movie just almost at random, and often it's just the two of us talking about the film. We're quite influenced by Bill Simmons' The Rewatchables. It's like a movie podcast on the Ringerverse, and we just kind of copy that format. We do chapters and best actor, and who does this award go to? Yeah. And yeah, sometimes they're deep cuts, like films that most people haven't heard of. Sometimes they're like The Salesman, which like won an Oscar. So it kind of ranges in popularity.
I'm excited to hear you guys whenever I'm assuming you're going to release an episode eventually or sometime soon on It Was Just an Accident.
Yeah, we just recorded it. It's going to come out next Thursday, like the end of January.
That's exciting, man. That movie was a masterpiece.
Yes.
Incredible movie. Holy shit.
And nominated for Best Foreign Language. Film.
Yeah.
Really?
And I think Best Original Screenplay as well, if I'm not mistaken, for the Oscars. Yeah.
So everybody go listen to that, his podcast.
Yeah, next. You think hopefully this comes out like I think mid-July. I'm sorry, mid-July, mid-February. Why did I say July?
I don't know, man.
I was impressed for a second. Like, wow, you guys are really ahead of it with how much you guys.
To a worrying degree. Mid-February.
So you'll have dropped it by that time.
By then.
Basically.
So yeah, you could just if you type in Cinema Rex Iranian film podcast in Google, you'll find it will be the first thing you find.
Yeah, go listen to their analysis on it. Kaveh is very organized. He comes prepared for his guests. Do you guys have a guest on that episode, or is it just you?
No, that one was just the two of us. And of course, I don't even know if you mentioned, but you were on our Persepolis episode as our guest.
Yes,
we talked about
that's really fun. I had a really good time.
Yeah.
It was
you
also
gave a lot of great insight, especially from like the animation point of view, perspective of how that was the language of drawing Iranian past was like really interesting to talk about.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to chat with you guys and to meet. Of course, we met through a mutual friend of ours that I know here in LA. That's a writer. It was Canadian he's this immigrant who came into our country, Rob Michaels. I just like making fun of Rob. No, he's perfectly fine.
I keep telling you to come back.
I just like giving Rob shit.
He should come back while he can.
Like, Rob, take me with you.
Yeah.
Dude, I have a family member who could get Irish citizenship. I'm like, Irish? You better get that now. I want to move to anywhere.
Right.
Anyway.
Thank you for all that. So Kaveh, tell us about your relationship to open tabs. Do you have a lot of open tabs? Do you close them? Do you have bookmarks? What's your deal?
I'm proud to say I've never closed a tab in my life yet to this day.
One of us.
When I'd first heard about the
you have been granted to join the Council of Kavehs officially.
You're now number one Kaveh in my book. You've overtaken the doctor.
I can't remember. Did Dr. Kaveh close his tabs quite often?
It's been so long I don't even remember at this point.
I imagine a doctor wouldn't. I feel like doctors, they're sloppy handwriting.
They're always opening tabs and forgetting. Always opening people up and forgetting stuff inside of them.
It's like, sorry, sir, we left a tab inside of you during that surgery.
How many? 500.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to reoperate.
Yeah. But basically, I've always, when I first heard of the concept of your podcast, I was like, oh, that is so relatable, because I thought I didn't think it was as common as it seems.
Same.
I get like on my phone, I don't know how scary this thing is. If I have in the range of 40 tabs, I'm good. Like, I'm like, oh, that's good. It's when it gets to about
that's
80,
very low.
When it gets to 80, 90, I start like frantically starting to close the ones. But that's not my phone. That's just my phone. So that's like social scrolling.
Like, someone has self-control.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Cool.
Wow, I didn't know that you thought you were better than us over here.
But I do have the what I like to do is I like to divide my tabs into browsers. So once I get too many tabs in one browser, I'll separate that browser from the others and sort of like, okay, so now I only have 3 browsers instead of 75 tabs, right?
Which are pretty much just bigger tabs.
They're bigger tabs, but that's why how I like to separate them.
They're Mighty Morphin Power Ranger tabs where they've all combined into like one giant thing.
Voltron,
and they're stomping around like a kaiju. Kaiju. Listen, it's July, all right? Leave me alone.
Come on, the year 2026 is already halfway through. I just imagined a kaiju just spouting off random facts that it reads about on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Did you know that sharks are older than Saturn?
And then, so what kind of stuff do you have open that you tend to be reading about?
A lot of it is movie related stuff. Sometimes I'll listen to a lot of movie related podcasts and hear about the concept of like an old film from the 50s or 40s. And it sounds so cool to me that I'll just quickly type in the name of the film, have the poster on as a tab, and then I just put it away and I don't look at it for months. But now I know I don't want to forget what that movie is. So I'll just like Google image the poster really quickly and then save, and the tab is just existing in there. So I have it as a reminder. So it's a lot of like interesting pop culture stuff that I want to keep in memory. I could just write it down somewhere, but I have to have the tab open somewhere to like constantly remind myself. So it is just more note keeping than anything, general thoughts or interesting articles that I swear I'm going to get around to reading one day or something. They're just there.
You're one of us.
But it's a lot of images. It's like a lot of posters or actors whose names I can't remember, and I just have. Oh, it's George Clooney. That's who that guy is.
Tip of my tongue.
Yeah. So it's a lot of just stuff like that, just like little like keepsakes from my memory.
Yeah, like a bulletin board.
Yeah, exactly.
Of a madman.
Which is a healthy way to, I think, keep your project. Okay, good. Like I got where.
And people who close their tabs are psychopaths. Okay?
I agree.
Yeah.
Coming out and saying it.
Yeah. My wife is like a very she's what is it, a type A personality when people are just really on top of it and they're like very she's so organized, which helps. It's a good balance. She doesn't ever have tabs open. She'll read it and and I think she's a sociopath because there's no way that
you married a monster.
Yeah.
She just sits in a room and stares at a blank wall and like feels nothing.
Yeah. But yeah, it just goes to how she's like any more than 3, I think she gets like nervous. So I don't know.
That blows my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only other thing I'll say about tabs too is I find that like if I'm doing research for a script I'm writing too, I'll have, let's say I'm doing a history on like Abraham Lincoln, for example. I'll have his Wikipedia page open, an article about him I find interesting, a different thing, and I'll have one browser that's like 15 Lincoln related tabs. Yep. And then I never read any of them, but they always have to be there. And they're all just like miniature subsections of this thing that I plan to do research on. They're probably overlapping each other in information, but I have to have them all in front of me.
It's funny when I scroll back far enough, I do get to the Lincoln area of my tabs, and it's the same where it's just like, who's Josh Speed? Oh, his boyfriend.
Yeah.
Wait, who's this? Oh, the guy what is it being shot? Why am I reading about the murder of that guy's wife? I don't know. It just goes into this like Lincoln's like one of those touch points where it's like this could go a bajillion different ways.
It sounds like you're able to start like the Canadian satellite version of this podcast where like you got all the components. This is basically all Hannah and I do.
Yeah, ours would have to be, the Canadian version would have to come with like beers. It would just be 500 open tabs, but it would be like
tabs of beer. Yeah.
And then you could just do like, Canadians have to do everything with like beers and hockey and stuff. So that's how
maple syrup. I did do one Canadian one. I did one Canadian episode about the maple syrup heist.
Yes. Yeah, Canadian writers are very familiar with that. There's been like 9 attempts to make that into a show over here.
Really?
And no one can crack it, or just no one wants to pay for it?
Like, it's an Amazon show. The Sticky.
Oh.
So it's called. It's a real show.
You should make the Farsi version of it.
Yes. Get Stephen King to give you the rights to that somehow. Just put his name all over it, even if it's not based on one of his stories.
I bet he'd just be like, all right.
He's all, sure, I'll take the money. I don't care, whatever.
He's good.
Awesome. Hannah, do you have any more questions for other Kaveh Mohebbi before we get into his tab?
You pretty much asked everything that I was curious about. Like, no, not for now. I might interrupt you like 20 minutes from now with a completely off-topic question.
Oh, I forgot to ask you this at the beginning of this episode.
Truly, I might do that. So, for not right now. For now, no. Great. But should we get into the tab? Do you want
to tell them what we're doing different? This because again, yes, Hannah, you and I have already moved on to this, and then we forgot to tell everybody else. Somebody forgot to tell our guest. This is me, by the way. About the new format of the show.
Let me insult you. Somebody forgot to tell our guest that the format changed. So poor Kaveh, what was
Kavnadian?
it? Kavnadian over here came thinking we were all doing tabs. But our format has changed this year, as we talked about at the beginning of the year, that we're switching off. It's going to be 1 tab per episode, and that's including guests, so that we give enough time for each of us to do something on our own episode. And because we've had some feedback saying that cramming 3 whole pretty much research projects into one hour and a half episode is a little much. So Kaveh Mohebbi today is going to be the star of the podcast, and then we'll be doing emails.
To clarify for my own sense of self-worth, am I the first guest you're doing this with, or have you?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
Interesting. I think that's
You're number
a
one.
compliment. That might
It
be
is.
Absolutely.
as long as my topic is good.
We're bringing on you're the first guest of season 3.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Season premieres. Those are strong.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, I'm honored, and thank you for having me. I'm
Of course.
happy to share my tab with you. So, okay, I want to ask you, what do you got, in your opinion, what is the biggest thing in pop culture in the 90s? What do you think, like, in pop culture, whether it's music, film, television, dance?
I went straight to crime.
Crime.
John Benet Ramsey is probably what
John
you
Benet
thought.
Ramsey
Yeah.
and OJ.
That is
And,
darker than
Yeah,
I thought
OJ
you'd
is
go.
probably the over.
All
I'd
my
say
mom watched was true crime, and I was like 7, being like, okay, yeah, that guy killed his wife with a rock,
Totally.
stuff like that. Sorry. Did that,
In the
oh,
entertainment world, one might say it's like
Yes.
Nirvana or Britney Spears.
Nirvana,
Right,
yeah.
right.
Pogs
Oh, no.
or Michael Jackson, even like early 90s. Like
Yeah.
who was more popular than Michael Jackson? But I would
Madonna,
argue-
basically the only other person that's probably as famous as
Madonna,
Michael Jackson
yeah.
at that time.
Madonna, right? But the Madonna feels a little bit more 80s. I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
80s
That's true.
and 90s,
That's true.
but yeah. I would argue that many people can say fairly that The Simpsons is one of
Yeah.
the biggest things in pop culture in the 90s. And-
Besides John Benet Ramsey, that shaped my personality.
yeah. Well, you said O.J. Simpson. Someone said O.J. Simpson. That's close enough. I mean, it's their Simpsons, right?
You're right.
And the man who, in many ways, helped architect The Simpsons, who helped weave the very fabric of the tone of the show and shape the blueprint of the series, remains largely unrecognized, unknown, to the point where most fans have never even heard his name. And I will tell you the name of what my tab is in a minute. I'm going to build to it.
Okay, I love it.
And it's not Matt Groening, because everyone knows that name, right?
That's,
Of course.
I'm speaking of John Swartzwelder.
Oh,
never heard.
Great. This is
The goat.
good. We get a good mix. John Swartzwelder was born in Seattle in 1949.
shit.
And his name is everywhere in the credits of The Simpsons. And for good reason.
Yep.
Okay.
Even though he hasn't written for the show since 2003, he still holds the record for the most Simpsons episodes credited to any writer, having written 59 episodes.
Whoa.
If you consider every writing credit he has on the show, roles like writer, story editor, he has a teleplay credit for some reason, a consultant, and additional writing by, his name appears on over 200 episodes.
Wow.
Amazing.
He was in the trenches.
Yes. And by the end of season 10, Swartzwelder had written around 55 episodes. The next closest writers, Joel H. Cohen and John Frink, were sitting at roughly 20 each. So he had more than double this number 2 most written
Holy
episodes.
cow.
Hell yeah.
And what's even more striking is that Cohen and Frink are still writing on the show today, and they still haven't matched Swartzwelder's total. They have like something like in the 40s now of solo written by credits.
Is this why it goes downhill after season 10?
That's exactly. So a lot of fans point to the show's quality starting to dip around the same time Swartzwelder left, like which is roughly season 9 or 10.
Yeah.
He does return later around seasons 14 and 15 to do a handful of episodes and a couple of Treehouse of Horror specials, but he's no longer a regular staff writer in the room. And people could still even argue that there's still some quality episodes in that time that he had like additional credits. Like the Tomako episode is like season 11, for example.
That's his?
Right.
That he did additional writing by, or like
I love that episode. I love that episode.
and I think that's usually when he does like punch ups, is it like when he gets an additional writing credit by?
It tastes like grandma.
Yeah.
It does taste like grandma.
What are some of your favorite episodes of The Simpsons? There's whatever you can list. There's a high likelihood that Swartzwelder wrote it. I'm going to just fire off a few. Itchy and Scratchy Land.
Yep.
Bart's Comet. Homer the Great, which is the Stonecutters episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rosebud, which is Mr. Burns wanting Maggie's bear Bobo. You Only Move Twice, which is Hank Scorpio.
That's one of my all-time favorites.
It's
Is
one
the
of
Hank
the best
Scorpio
episodes.
episode.
Homer's Enemy, which is Frank Grimes.
Right.
That's right.
The Cartridge Family, when Homer buys a gun. These are when people rank the top 10 episodes of Simpsons all time. His are like 8 of them. It's crazy.
Yep. Yeah.
Now, he did come back to write for the Simpsons movie, but I'm going to get more on that in a minute.
Okay.
Okay.
He is credited by the voice actors on the show for having crafted Homer's voice. Not audio, but the soul of Homer Simpson.
Yeah. The writing voice. Kind of.
Exactly. Swartzwelder once said that to write for Homer, you have to write as if you're writing for a talking dog.
Yeah.
And that is a rule that is still carried over in the writer's room today.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Now, here's the kicker. For years, there has been just enough confusion, just enough blur around him, that even the most devoted fans started to feel something was off. He was distant, elusive, almost abstract. A writer credited with shaping a generation of 90s laughter, yet somehow always out of reach. He felt oddly invisible, like a ghost.
Yeah.
And the prevailing theory, the one a surprising number of fans took seriously, was simple and wild. The theory was, and to many still is, John Swartzwelder might not even exist. And here's why this was a prevailing fan theory for nearly 2 decades.
Swartzwelder probably loved that too.
Oh, yeah. I bet he was like, fine.
Yeah.
Let him think that.
Just given how so he's incredibly reclusive. And given how reclusive he is, how many episodes are credited to him, and some fans began to wonder whether Swartzwelder wasn't a real person at all, but a shared pseudonym. A name used when writers didn't want individual credit or when multiple writers worked on an episode together.
Okay.
And honestly,
it does sound like a name that they would make up. Swartzwelder?
Yeah.
That sounds like someone who works at the nuclear power plant.
Welder. It's literally welded together.
Yeah. And the worst thing you could do is weld something in your shorts. So it's it's terrible.
No one wants to weld anything in their shorts.
Yeah. And like there is some credence to this theory because just the sheer volume of credits, it's so many more episodes than the next person on the show that it would just on a numbers level make sense if it was a pseudonym.
Do you subscribe to this theory?
Well, I'll get to it. I did for the longest time.
Okay.
And I'm still a little bit for the magic of it. I still think there's a possibility. By season 10, if you think about it, with 55 episodes, that's nearly a third of the entire series run. It's just too high of an output for one writer.
That's big.
Yeah.
The other widely reported thing about Swartzwelder I said is he's famously reclusive. He's someone who stepped away from regular society and chose to live alone, secluded in a cabin in the woods in California.
That's still the place to do it. Was it like northern?
Classic writer move.
Yeah.
Weird California? Like up in the...
yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Like in the middle of the woods.
Yeah.
Comedy writer Mike Sachs.
He's like the Alan Moore of comedy is what it sounds like. He's sort of like a weird wizard who lives in a shack in the middle of the woods, but the Californian,
asking for his advice on new episodes and writing.
He totally is that. Comedy writer Mike Sachs described Swartzwelder as the Thomas Pynchon of the comedy world.
Oh, that's amazing. I love this guy or guys.
This person.
Gal, multiple guys, gals, maybe 3 kids in a trench coat, whatever he is.
3 kids in a trench coat.
3 dogs in a trench coat.
Why do I never get tired of the 3 kids in a trench coat? It always makes me laugh.
The funniest thing you could ever say.
It always makes me laugh. I'm 42 years old. It's still the funniest thing ever.
Good, yeah.
It's 3 kids in a trench coat doing stuff. I love it.
Buying a movie ticket or put them in any scenario and it's hilarious.
It's always a movie ticket for some reason in that scenario.
It is.
Did you guys ever watch BoJack Horseman?
Yeah, of course.
No, everyone told me that I'd like it.
There's this whole subplot with Princess Caroline, who is the cat that's his agent, dating. What the hell's his name? It's Vincent 3 kids in a trench coat. Adultman, right?
Vincent Adultman.
I want to say it's at least 1 or 2 seasons long where she's so self-involved that she does not realize that it's just 3 kids in a trench coat.
Yeah.
It's one of the best gags of any show ever. He's
always off doing business stuff at the business factory. Like he doesn't know what a job is. One hand
and it's Amy Sedaris, incredible voice acting. It is so funny.
Very good. So Thomas Pynchon of comedy, and it's weird because there's only for the longest time, for over a decade, there was only one known photo of him, and I'll show it to you here. I've got it queued up. This is the Simpsons staff writers room.
Yeah.
This is
so it's like this blurry group photo.
It's just someone in a group. Like you can see Conan O'Brien is in the corner there.
Yeah.
Early 90s.
Oh, look at that.
And it's just one guy. They just could have picked one guy in a group, be like, that's him. That's our guy.
Yeah.
This was the
Let's
only
hire
known
an
photo
actor.
of him.
He looks like a retired baseball player from the 70s.
He does.
Completely, yeah. Swartzwelder was Greg Daniels' inspiration for Ron Swanson on Parks and Rec.
No shit. I don't think I knew that.
Both in look and attitude.
Really?
Greg Daniels was a producer on Simpsons and said they were creating the character Ron Swanson. He said, both he said once that Swanson and Swartzwelder, they're both libertarian, proud gun owners who are off the grid coots with a fine mustache. Like even the mustache and hair, like that is supposed to be that's like your real life Ron Swanson.
Oh my God, it does look like it. Yeah.
And they both do. When you said Northern California, like that's a very vaguely. Again, I'm Canadian. I don't know geography of California that well, but he got relatively right wing views. This famous comedy writer.
Once you go past Marin County, you get into the crazy. Yeah. Like the people who want to secede. People who are like, we're going to make our own state. I did an episode on it called the State of Jefferson.
Yeah. Is that? Yeah, they're the ones who want to secede. I remember. I think Jon Stewart did a thing on it too.
He did.
The Daily Show had an episode on it. Yeah.
I mean, be my guest,
Yeah.
Please. But yeah, if he's up there, then you got some. I wouldn't even say completely right wing, but definitely like libertarians who grow pot.
Libertarian for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And then some right wing pockets. But yeah, it's its own place.
It could be one way or another. It could be like your delusional form of right wing, where you're just like, things can work themselves out. And I just want, so like right wing these days could, it could also be like straight Nazi, or it could be, I think the world can figure itself out because slavery ended naturally. And I think that the government doesn't need to be involved in anything, because that's what those idiots believe.
If you want to get to the hospital, get your own ambulance.
Yeah, exactly. What happened to people just getting together and building roads and having a national infrastructure for electricity so that things don't freeze in Texas? Don't be libertarian.
It's really funny from an outsider perspective. Like right now with things going on in the U.S., just as a Canadian observer, it's interesting how
we're sorry.
It's just like my brain goes, don't talk politics, don't bring up politics, don't bring up. And I'm just
go ahead, bring it up,
do it.
It wouldn't go well. It wouldn't go. A Canadian's perspective of the U.S. right now is just we're.
I don't think there's a single thing that you would say that would be like, no, we disagree with you. We'd just be like, we're just going to be like, yep. we are victims of this in the same way that you perceive it. Like,
wishing you the best of luck,
Thank you.
Wink or blink if you need help.
We need it.
We're here for you. Everyone's twitching now. Okay.
Oh boy.
But okay, so according to the DVD commentaries, there were times towards the end of his tenure where Swartzwelder would not come into work. He would write alone and just come to the office, drop off scripts, and leave without talking to or interacting with any of the writers or producers.
Sounds like
Here's
a writer.
What I don't understand. Okay, so I like being funny, but I need people to laugh at me I can see them doing it, or you know what I mean? Like I like attention. Unfortunately, this does not comprehend. I can't comprehend him just being like, "Here's the best the best episode you've ever seen."
Yes.
And bye.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, even that when you say like this tails into exactly what like one writer had said. John used to drive an extremely crappy car into work despite his success. They knew he was making good money off this, and his car was terrible. And when he would turn in scripts, the producers would just take one look at it and say, "Yep, there's nothing to revise or edit. It's perfect." Like he would just deliver these flawlessly perfect comedic Simpsons scripts and just leave, like without talking to anyone. It's really crazy.
I want to be that, but I can't keep my mouth shut.
Yeah.
Ever. Content. Yeah, I'd love to be content.
It definitely plays into that dichotomy of like, you can just know by those great episodes that he's got such a keen understanding of human psyche and how to poke fun at it. And yet at the same time, something in his brain is like, I don't want to interact with the human race, which maybe he had a point too to a certain degree. George Carlin was like that too. Carlin didn't trust people in groups.
Is that why there are so many bizarro Americana characters that have come from those early like mid-90s seasons?
Yeah.
That I wonder, did he have? Does it say which characters he was like responsible for creating anywhere? Because I would love to know. Like,
I don't know specifically which characters he created, but he did have an affinity for like old timey like coots, like Americana, like so like
that sounds
like the tramps that would kind of carry like the bindle or whatever. The stick,
the
like
bindle,
bindle, and like I think in the Itchy and Scratchy movie episode. There's the original George Meyer who created Itchy and Scratchy, who doesn't get there's like the homeless guy who like is got the like I think he loved those things, like people who are like transient members of society living off trains and like
old time. Oh, I love all that shit.
He was obsessed with that type of Americana, so he would always
hobos,
hobos and like what are those like boxcar people who live in those? I don't know. He loved that part of America.
You're right. There is a lot of that, and it's like what's his name? Homer's brother.
Oh no.
I'm drawing a blank on his name. Homer's brother that becomes, it's Danny DeVito's voice where he's like the car magnate who loses all of his money
Hugh,
so he becomes. Is it Hugh?
Isn't it Homer's brother? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I thought it was something else. Look at me. I'm a supposed Simpsons super fan.
Herb.
Yeah.
Herb,
He's also like they're just like, around the giant the trash bin with the fire in it, and they're all hobos living under the bridge.
Love that. Yeah, exactly.
I feel like there's so many references to that in the early seasons too.
Yeah. Initially, early on in season one, Matt Groening had sketched Herman, the military guy with the one arm, was a loose sketch that was supposed to be a Swartzwelder look, sort of.
That's the vibe I was getting from his personality. I'm like, those kind of characters.
But I think the voice, was it Hank Azaria or somebody, whoever voiced him ended up kind of going with he's got like a George Bush Sr. accent to He's got kind of like a George Bush voice to him. It doesn't have Swartzwelder's voice.
He's you want to see a nuke? I got it. I got to go in the back.
Yeah. So Herman was supposed to be initially kind of an offshoot of Swartzwelder, but he does look more like Ron Swanson.
That's amazing.
Another infamous story about Swartzwelder says he would write Simpsons episodes at his favorite coffee shop, quote, drinking copious amounts of coffee and smoking endless cigarettes. When California passed an anti-smoking law, he entered the diner with tools, personally removed the table, paid for it with cash, and then installed it in his own house.
He is Ron Swanson.
That specific table was apparently the secret to his success. So he had to have
Interesting.
He just
Where do
took
I find
it.
that table?
Yeah, I love it. Is it made of lead?
Somewhere.
I got to go find him in the forest. Let's go on a trek.
Let's do it.
Let's get shot by this guy.
John Swartzwelder, come be on our show. Come be on the podcast. Tell us about your table.
Absolutely not.
He's not even listening. He probably doesn't even have internet.
Well, here's where I'll mention the initial tab that opened up all of this for me. It was a New Yorker article called John Swartzwelder, Sage of the Simpsons. And I'll go into more detail about what that article says in a minute, but I had been so influenced by a possible world in which I can do a documentary about calling it Searching for Swartzwelder. I've had this in my mind for years of there was a Searching for Sugarman about a musician that I think won the Oscar for documentary.
Yeah,
and
I remember that
this
one.
idea of getting comedy writers to actually try to find him in the woods could be really funny, and getting
fun.
Harry Shearer and Conan O'Brien to talk about his legacy would make a really good documentary. So I've sort of and
greenlit.
That has caused for 18 tabs on its own of just things that I've been sort of piling away through in my mind.
Nice.
I think it's a great idea. I think you should do it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you why it might not work out when I get to the end of this tab.
Oh, no.
Okay. I was going to say really quick, he wrote Bart Gets an Elephant, which is
one
of my absolute favorite episodes of all time.
Yeah.
Stampy the elephant. Okay, go on.
Yeah, he has so many episodes. The best ones are Swartzwelder.
They're all good.
Yeah.
During
the taping of the DVD commentaries for one of Swartzwelder's episodes, The Cartridge Family, that's the gun one where Homer buys a gun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It came up between the writers that he refuses to be involved in any of the DVD commentary recordings. So then during the taping, on sort of a dare, the writers decided on a whim to just call him up and ask him about it. Now, you can find this whole interaction on YouTube. I don't know for legal reasons if you can play it. So I just wrote a bit of the transcript down to read it.
Okay.
Because the interaction goes something like this. The writers are talking. The phone rings and a man picks up and they ask, "Is John Swartzwelder there?" He says, "Who?" They're like, "John?" He says, "Yes." The writer says, "It's Mike Scully from The Simpsons. We just want to verify your existence." Swartzwelder replies, "Wonderful. How much money do I get?" They laugh. They tell him they're recording a DVD commentary of one of his episodes, and they tell him it's The Cartridge Family. And they ask, "Is there anything you want to share? Any particular memories of this episode?" He pauses and goes, "It's a good episode, as I recall." That's it. Long pause.
That's it?
They go, "Okay, John, what were you doing when we interrupted?" He says, "I was cooking a steak," at which point another writer points out it's 7 a.m. Another long pause enters the DVD commentary. Scully then adds, "We just wanted the fans to know what a great contribution you've made to the show over the years." To which he says, "Wonderful." Another long pause. A writer asks,
just giving him nothing.
"All right, John, anything else?" John says, "No, that's it. Just one thing, though." They say, "What's that?" He says, "Too bad this isn't the real John Swartzwelder." and he hangs up the phone.
No.
And that ends the one edition, quote unquote, of his DVD commentary for The Simpsons.
What a jerk.
It's just, but here's the thing.
And a legend.
It's just creepy enough that adds to this mystery of like, was any of that real? Like, who was that on the phone? It just leaves enough doubt, again, to whether or not this man exists. On ending it on that note and hanging up on the line, too bad this wasn't the real John Swartzwelder. It's just
I would have screamed.
Weird enough.
Like, that's
Listen,
insane.
that's a writer's button to a scene. Is like knowing exactly what you put in there to just make the whole thing more absurd.
He knows if he is real, and I think he probably is. I think he likes that people don't think he's real. I think that's his dream.
That's his bit. I think that's his gag that he thinks is funny, and he just keeps doing it.
Andy Kaufman-esque too. Just thinking.
Yeah, honestly, it is. Yeah, it's like a performance piece.
Have you guys ever had a gag that you've just kept, like a bit that you've kept going on for like years on end?
Yeah, it's my creative career.
Besides your career. Wait, hold on.
Career in quotes.
What did Canadian Kaveh just say?
I have a dream scenario where I meet people for the first time. Like if I were to enter, like if I was going to take night school for like improv classes or something, I wanted to put on like a thick Iranian accent for like for like 10 months or whatever. And then on the last day, just reveal that I've never had an accent. I've always dreamed about doing this, but I haven't put it into action yet. I'm scared.
Do you want us to re-record this episode? We could just start from the top, and then by the end of it, you'd be like, "Hey, I'm Canadian, actually."
Yeah. Hey,
too bad this isn't the real Kaveh Mohebbi, and I just cut out the podcast.
And honestly, end of the show. That's the last episode of this show.
Yeah.
He just sent me a picture of Ronald Reagan wearing sweatpants.
The dictum in film is to show, don't tell, rather than talking about what my longest running.
I didn't go to video school.
I just did the gag that has been running for years now, where I will just periodically send Hannah unprompted a picture of Ronald Reagan in sweatpants in the middle of recording or doing other things.
Are there many photos of him in sweatpants, or are you sending the same one over and over again?
There are never enough sweatpants photos.
Does he look good in them or bad in them?
Oh, he looks great.
Right. I mean, it would also work comedically if he looks great in them.
He looks both in them.
Oh, he doesn't wear them right.
No.
He wears it. First of all, don't wear it with a dress shirt and tie.
No, never.
Why? And second of all, he has them way too high.
Yep, he wears them like a toddler. He looks like he has a diaper on. Speaking of beans, I think one of our Kuma tabs. Sorry, we'll get back to your tab in a second. I think one of our Kuma tabs, we actually talked about these sweatpants being full of beans. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that does sound right. That does sound like something we had talked about at some point. I vaguely remember
this. I am a one-trick pony. Okay.
Good job. Just remembering bean content. I'm Hannah Hillam, and I'm a bean content creator.
I gotta honor my ancestors.
Here's my sponsored post for this week from the Heinz Company, and also from some toast company. I don't know.
Honestly, if Heinz would like me to be one of their spokespeople, I will not say no.
Bean content creator makes me want to like basically nuke the earth. Like we need to just start over.
Do it.
Yes.
And then after the apocalypse, all we'll have is a society full of bean content creators, because that's what we're going to start from.
It's true. It's the opopposite, right? It's like it doesn't get rid of the bean. It's like everyone becomes, you're right.
It's an
interesting.
economy-based.
That's like a Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah.
It's like he comes out of the vault and everyone has
I present
beans.
to you a man who tried to wipe the earth of bean content creation and instead created his own living hell of all bean content creators.
I just want to see a makeup tutorial or, I don't know, an unboxing.
And it's just people putting beans under their eyes and just be like, oh, if you're trying to get that look of like, you know, a little bit more blush on your eyes, take...
Blush on your eyes? Sorry,
it's July. It's too hot. I can't think correctly.
Sometimes I forget you're straight. And then you say something and I'm like, that's right. Okay, back to...
beans?
No.
Yeah.
Apologies all around for that whole thing.
So, okay. As of recently, a couple years now, he does have his own website and on Amazon, in which both his website and on Amazon, he has a long series of self-published books, which it's even weird that they're self-published because you'd think that a publishing company would be chomping at the bit to publish the works of the most prolific Simpsons writer. Like, why would they ever not want to? But these are self-published. And
on purpose?
I don't. Maybe he wanted to save himself the headache of not dealing. I don't know, but it's even just that fact is bizarre. But the books have been they have very hilarious Simpsons like titles. Ready for it?
Okay. Yes, I'm ready. Kaveh is doing something.
Oh, you have them. Okay.
You do? Oh, he just went and came back with some of the books.
Read the titles you have. Read that one out.
I have The Time Machine Did It.
Yep.
I have Detective Made Easy.
Okay, nice.
And I have How I Conquered Your Planet.
Yes. The other titles I wanted to share, I wanted to mention those. And The Squirrel Who Saved Practically Everybody. Is the title of his book. The Spy with No Pants. And The Monster That Wouldn't Sink. And most of these books, not all of them, but most of them are part of a long-running detective series known as the Frank Burley Detective Series.
I'm like, I could read some of it. It's very they're very funny because they're all just written in the first person.
Have you read them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? I would love a review. I haven't read any of
Here,
them.
why don't I read the first page, because this one's very funny. It just says, I love them. I thought they were goofy as shit. They're really funny. It says, Frank Burley is my name. Okay, it's not my name. I lied about that. My name is Edward R. Torgeson Jr. I changed it for the business. You've got to have a tough sounding name if you want people to hire you as a private detective out of a phone book. I chose one that would give prospective clients the idea that I was a burly kind of man, the kind of man who would have the strength and endurance to solve their cases for them, and who would be frank with them at all times, hence the name. As my exciting story opens, I am being punched in the stomach. But I guess a lot of stories start that way. Most of mine do anyway. The guy who was punching me was a lot burlier than I was, so it hurt plenty. But I tried to pretend it didn't bother me at all, that I actually liked it. It was hard to do this convincingly because he had knocked the wind out of me there. So all I could do was smile and wink and give him the thumbs up while I waited to be able to breathe again. He thought I was making fun of him. And started punching me in the stomach harder. Meanwhile, I'm not any closer to getting my breath back. Some days are just like that.
I have another quote from the book. Yeah, Hannah, go reactions.
I just everything about that is perfect.
It's like a side character from The Simpsons.
Yes.
The guy's I'm giving the thumbs up as he's punching me in the stomach.
And I like how he most stories start that way, at least with me. No, that was such a Simpsons-esque. Like, I see his influence so clearly.
Yeah. As my exciting story opens, I'm being punched in the stomach is a great call to an adventure.
That was from The Time Machine Did It, by the way. I think that was my favorite of the ones I've read. It's very funny.
Oh, I loved that. It just feels like a stream of consciousness. Like he goes into like comedy writing mode, and just that comes out. Like his eye, I could picture his eyes like going completely white, and his hair standing on end, and he just, and that's what it felt like.
Let me share one more passage that I'd picked out from I think the same book. That when I had first read it, I audibly laughed out loud so hard that it took me a minute to compose myself. This is from Frank Burley. I think his Time Machine Did It. Here's the quote. And think of how Simpsons this sounds. The next day, a dead turtle was left on my doorstep as a warning. I couldn't figure out as a warning for what, and I guess whoever was watching me picked up on that, because the next morning there was another dead turtle, but this one had several sheets of paper glued to its back leg. The pieces of paper contained a long footnoted explanation of all the symbolism involved. It didn't make a lot of sense to me. The turtle was the turtle of inquisitiveness, and the cheese smeared on its shell meant something, and the little cowboy boots on its feet meant something. Everything about this animal meant something, apparently, to whoever sent it. I still didn't get what it was all about. The next morning, there was no turtle. Somebody just shot at me from the bushes.
It's incredible.
It's so genius. Like, that is a Simpsons moment. It's like Homer showing up the door and not realizing who's after him. It's like, Marge, what does this turtle mean?
Then he gets shot at. It's incredible. It's absurd. He's really absurdist and surrealist, and I like that a lot. Man. In 2016, Swartzwelder created a Twitter account. It was confirmed official by several of the former Simpsons colleagues. The account mostly just tweets excerpts from the Swartzwelder books. And not that often, I don't think. Now, great. I bet it was like his granddaughter or something random.
Yeah, right.
Or some like niece. That was like, I'll do a Twitter account. And then it's just, anyway.
And so here's some of the arguments as to why he might not actually exist. He's rarely ever been seen. He's like genuinely a recluse, from the fact that no interviews, never presented as part of the show or the Simpsons cast, never part of anything in the market. Like he just there's nothing about him. The one photo in a crowd of people. He also has almost no major credits outside of The Simpsons. So if you check out his IMDb, you'll see a few SNL. He did some SNL stuff in the 80s. I think some Punch Up.
Okay.
Some scattered one-off TV episodes of random shows that like I've never heard of. They're not very popular shows, and they're just one episode here and there. And even at one point, and it was removed after some time, he had writing credits for like things like the Emmys. Like he would be a writer for like award ceremony shows. But the thing is, all of those gigs that I listed had other Simpsons writers' names attached to it too. So it's like if you saw Swartzwelder's name for like writing for an Emmy in like the 90s, you'd also see Mike Scully or Conan O'Brien's name too. So it was still lead credence to the fact that they've just added his name as potentially as a fun inside gag. And
I think it's funny because, like, God forbid you write 50 episodes of the most popular television show of the past 50 years and then just live off that forever.
Yeah, right. You don't need anything else.
That's true.
You know how much money this guy made off this for that long? Like WGA rates in the 90s? Are you kidding me?
True, like, exactly. The only other writing credit he had on IMDb for the longest time after a long absence was the Simpsons movie, which again he had supposedly returned for. So like he came to be a contributor as a writer and a punch-up writer for like the movie, but again, just weird that like never went on. Like he does enjoy the money. He's made comments about writing as a comedy writer, like loving the money and doing it. So it's weird that he just would never go on to do anything else.
I will say too, this, Kaveh, you know this, like you could be a punch-up writer. He could have worked on all kinds of different things that he's not credited for.
That's
you know what I mean?
That's
and
true.
You're not going to show up on IMDb for any of this. Like he might just be like, oh, Judd Apatow needs somebody to punch up your 50 different scripts that you're producing at one time.
That's right.
Swartzwelder, I'm sure there's a lot of that kind of crap.
The other weird, bizarre enigma, though, is there's a long-running series of Easter egg jokes in The Simpsons itself referencing Swartzwelder as either being dead in an insane asylum or just generally not present. So here's a few gags that they put up in his. It's like wink and you miss a gags. This is a statue outside of one of the courthouses in Springfield. It's Swartzwelder.
Nice.
He's like memorialized as like a war soldier, war hero with his
like
name.
A Civil War hero.
In one episode, they enter a insane asylum, and there he is.
Yes, I remember that one actually.
And that's
he looks like David Crosby there.
Yeah, he totally does. There is this very bizarre, in the middle of a chanting, someone's holding a sign that says "Free John Swartzwelder."
That's incredible.
And another one, like I think Homer Barter reading this book says "How to Get Rich Writing Cartoons" by John Swartzwelder.
That's a great deep reference.
I can also see them being like, he's never around. He just drops in to drop a script off and just kind of like prodding at him by writing him.
Making fun of him. Yeah. It seems like a very Simpsons writing room kind of thing.
No other writer.
I bet you too. Really, if you're an introvert, which he clearly is, you'd probably think that the Simpsons writing room is super irritating because it's just Conan O'Brien being an insane person screaming at everybody and everyone just laughing and making jokes. And Schwartzwelder just like, I'm trying to be serious here and write stuff.
Yeah. But it's weird that it's just funny that they wouldn't give this treatment to any other writer. Like other than Conan O'Brien, who became famous, they have like a lot of in Conan O'Brien jokes, but they don't like this arbitrary writer whose name you'd never know. They haven't injected other writers in canon jokes about, but they did with Swartzwelder, which is just interesting.
I love it.
Interesting.
It even got to the point where for a long time, Swartzwelder's Wikipedia page had a subsection suggesting he might not exist at all, that his name could simply be a pseudonym. And this was before it was 100% confirmed. Because this theory has started in 2004 and really picked up in the 2010s, but it was finally put to bed in 2021, which is why I feel the documentary wouldn't have legs. Because comedian Mike Sachs eventually landed his white whale interview and got a sit-down interview with John Swartzwelder for The New Yorker. And it's the one and only time he's ever done an interview. And it sort of demystified all of the theories that he might not exist. And he speaks to that too, which was my initial tab. That's my long-winded way of getting back to the initial tab. That
Are you serious?
Yes.
Was the
actual
article
interview with him?
Yeah, nice.
Is the article. And Swartzwelder said he had agreed to the interview out of the fondness for The New Yorker and the writers whose work it had published. Swartzwelder said he was humbled by the praise he had received from colleagues and Simpsons fans, and that he was proud that The Simpsons encouraged fans to keep track of the writers of their favorite television shows. He hopes The Simpsons, quote, helps create a generation of wise guys who live in a world where everybody's up to something, stating that if that's all we've achieved, aside from the billions of dollars we've made, I'm satisfied.
Aside from the billions of dollars.
Hero. This man is my hero.
Absolutely.
He's just a legend. Here's some Simpsons writers who had spoken highly of his writing and impact on the show. Matt Selman, another writer, wrote an article for Time magazine about Swartzwelder, praising him as, quote, one of the greatest comedy minds of all time. He is the comedy writer whose words make the best comedy writers in the world laugh out loud. George
Wow.
Mayer said, even among comedy weirdos, he stands out. He's irreplaceable. Fellow writer Dan Greeny described Swartzwelder as, quote, the best writer in the world today in any medium. And Mike Sachs said,
wow.
Mike Saxman writes, it's been nearly 20 years since the reclusive, mysterious, almost mythical comedy writer John Swartzwelder left The Simpsons. And yet to this day, one of the biggest compliments a Simpsons writer or any comedy writer can receive is to have a joke referred to as Schwartzweldian, meaning a joke that comes out of nowhere, a joke that no one else could have written, a joke that sounds almost as if it were never written, as if it's always existed. Sachs cites the following from another Schwartzwelder episode called Homer versus the 18th Amendment. To alcohol.
That's a good one.
To alcohol, the cause of and solution to all
of life's problems. Yeah, I love that one.
That's a Schwartzwelder quote. It's so perfect. It sounds like something a brilliant monk would have like written thousands of years ago on a scroll. It's so poetic. It's so simple. It's so short, and yet Schwartzwelder came up with it like in the late 90s.
Oh, I'm not surprised at all. Like you said, that it was called like the Sage of the Simpsons. That's 100% what it is. And it's funny, I went to the article that you said, and I just scrolled down, not reading anything, and I landed on one question. And the interviewer said, do you still consider comedy writing to be the easiest job on the planet? And all he said was, no, sir, I do not. That's it.
That's it.
It sort of reminds me of what everyone loves about David Lynch, where they're like, you said there's a lot of symbolism, or it's like, Eraserhead is like one of your most spiritual films. Would you care to elaborate on that? And he just goes, no.
No.
And walks away.
Yeah. And I just wanted to end this all with a bit of writing advice that Schwartzwelder gave in that New Yorker interview.
Love it.
Mike Sachs had asked, how much time and attention did you spend on these scripts? Another Simpsons writer once compared your scripts to finely tuned machines. If the wrong person mucks with them, the whole thing could blow up. Schwartzwelder says this as his advice. All of my time and all of my attention is spent on these scripts. It's the only way I know how to write, darn it. But I do have a trick that makes things easier for me. Since writing is very hard and rewriting is comparatively easy and rather fun, I always write my scripts all the way through as fast as I can the first day, if possible. Putting in crap jokes and pattern dialogue. Like, Homer, I don't want you to do that. Quote, then I won't do it. Then the next day, when I get up, the script's been written. It's lousy, but it's a script. The hard part is done. It's like a crappy little elf has snuck into my office and badly done all the work for me, and then left with a tip of his crappy little hat. All I have to do from that point on is fix it. So I've taken a very hard job writing and turned it into an easy one, rewriting overnight. I advise all writers to do their scripts and other writing this way, and be sure to send me a small royalty every time you do it. And that's his advice to writers, and that's the legend of John Swartzwelder.
That's great advice.
That's incredible advice.
Yeah, it's really good.
For anything creative. Dude, I didn't know anything about this guy. This is great.
Yeah, he's
Thank
great.
you.
He's a legend, and I mean, that's why for years I'd wanted to make this documentary, and I'd been trying to think my way around it and try to pitch it to producers. And then 2021, he did the interview. I'm like, well, it was nice living in the world of not knowing if he existed.
I in all sincerity, I really think you could still do it. I don't think it matters that you don't track him. I think the fact that he's this larger than life character that has influenced all these different people, and to be able to like create a portrait of somebody without actually ever hearing what they say about themselves and like trying to unpack it is a fun art. Yeah. It's sort of like I've seen stuff about Bill Watterson from Calvin and Hobbes, where they're like searching for him and like they can't find him. So it's sort of like a Bigfoot thing, or where they're trying to find somebody in the woods and they never track him down. But really the story is always about this person's influence, and then all of us becoming obsessed with trying to understand who they are through the work and letting the work be the thing that speaks for them. So I think I don't think you should give up on it. I think you should really I think you should really stick with it, and I'd be happy to do whatever I can to help you make it. I think people would love to know about this, especially.
I think so.
Oh yeah.
And with all documentaries, it's always that thing of like, you can fudge a little bit of like, we could live in the world of we're not sure yet until the end. Like you could have characters be like, we don't have concrete proof he exists. Let's get the interview to find out if he does.
Yeah.
It could be something. It's a fun mystery.
Yeah.
You can add a layer of doubt to it as well, and just be like, maybe the New Yorker was lying this whole time, and they were paid off by, I don't know, whatever, George Soros or some shit that everyone always says in their conspiracies. That's what they always say. It's always like George Soros paid for whatever.
Yeah.
That man has a lot of different interests.
A lot of time. I don't know how he has time to make all the money if he's too busy going around trying to destroy everything, allegedly. But you could fold that into it as a joke as well, which Swartzwelder would probably think is funny.
Yeah.
That you're like, the New Yorker was actually in on the gag as well.
Yeah. You could go to the coffee shop
Discord.
where you stole the table. Just like see the clues left over.
I want to see that coffee shop.
Yeah,
and I want to know about
I
this
can't
table.
find the name for it, but I've seen that story in multiple sources now. So I think that one's actually quite true.
Oh,
or at least
amazing.
the legend of it has been spread. But yeah.
I wish I had a magic chair and table that made it easier for me to to write.
Yeah, it's called an electric chair, Hannah. Let's get one.
They don't have those anymore. All right?
Are they gone?
Don't act like I haven't. Yeah, they've stopped using them.
Oh, but I didn't know that they were like gone. Do they not? They probably use them somewhere in the world, right? What have we come to? Wow, because of woke, we can't use electric chairs anymore.
I'm sure your president's going to bring it back in another year or two.
Yes,
you're right. Bring back the death penalty just by electric chair. Hold on, hang on. Are electric chairs still used? Is very important. Oh, wow, they are still used. Yeah. My apologies.
I was surprised
in
by
the
that.
United States. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say that doesn't seem like it wouldn't be a thing.
Something like the very last execution in America by like noose, by the gallows, was relatively recent. It's like the 70s, I think, or something.
It was Utah.
Well, in the 70s, correct? Or was it
Utah?
I think,
great.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was the guy who I think killed my friend's grandma. Hold on.
Really?
Last hanging
oh man.
In Utah. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Is it him? Oh yeah. Yeah, this is sorry. Maybe I can't say it, but I think he'd be okay with it. My friend's grandma was murdered by the K. Kirkham, Barton K. Kirkham, and he was hung. Okay. That was the last hanging before. Yeah,
it's hanged.
Sorry,
it's hanged. Did you know that? I always like to correct that. People say it's hanged, like someone was hanged. Yeah.
Every time it's hanged.
I think it's always hanged. Like if you're talking about the most morbid stuff imaginable, it's someone was hanged.
I think they didn't want to confuse with a dude who's hung.
Yeah. The other thing means like
complimentary.
The other thing means he has a large penis. I think.
Oh man! And that guy, we don't want to.
Yeah, you don't go around saying he's hanged like a horse. That's why they don't want to change.
I hang horses all the time, and I'd like to see him hanged like one too.
Yeah,
horse execution, bring it back.
Wow. Okay, Thomas Edison. No, that was elephants. I believe that he electrocuted. Anyway, fully off the rails. Kaveh, wonderful. Thank you for that. That was awesome.
Thank you very much.
I need to point out and apologize that I opened up your tab by talking about John Benet Ramsey, and I closed it out with a personal murder, and a hanging. I apologize.
No,
I'm sorry.
I think it's classically Swartzweldian. You're bringing out the most obscure, random
Swartzweldian,
and then we ended up talking about the size of penises, so it works out.
You know what? As long as it ends there.
Yeah,
that's where we end on a good note. Anyway,
thank you. So Kaveh, now you get to close your tabs. Do you have a sound effect that you would like to use that feels Swartzweldian, I guess, at this point?
I mean, there might be something about like, is it like a door slamming because you're in your cabin in the woods alone? Is it just silence because of reclusive nature of not wanting to deal with somebody? Is it
the table somehow being involved? Yeah. I like that. Well, we're removing your tabs from the browser.
Yeah.
And taking them to our house in the woods.
Yes,
yeah.
I like that.
Okay, I'll drill it. I'll drill it out of here.
Yeah, just like lift that table tab table right out of the floor.
Hannah, you want to count down?
Yeah, I'll count down.
Yeah.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Done.
And they're gone. Moving on to listener emails. Hannah Montana, would you like to be the one that reads the listener email that's there? Don't say something that you love that much because you are too excited. Yeah.
It's a beautiful state, but I remember the day that people stopped saying Hannah Banana and started saying Hannah Montana, and I was like, wow, I never thought I'd miss Hannah Banana, but I do. Okay.
Hannah Montana Nana. I don't know. Whatever. Yes, go ahead. You want to do it?
Yeah. This is from Celine from upstate New York. Hello, 500 open tabs. Thanks to a friend... Hello, Maya, if you're listening / watching. What's up, Maya? I am now stuck in the Hannah and Kaveh tab multiverse.
We were just talking about that verse earlier, yes.
I am not much of a tab haver, since I hate having too many tabs open. But I am still guilty of having a stockpile of fun stories and links to read through, usually in the form of a desktop sticky note. That's a tab.
That's a tab. This is a different kind of tab.
you realize that that's where tabs came from, as people putting little like papers inside books.
Yep.
Anyway,
Right.
I don't know why I'm mad at her. I don't know why I'm angry at her.
No, I know why. She doesn't have enough.
Hannah
tabs.
Hillam, famously yelling at the people who took time out to write us an email.
We usually edit the part out when I get mad at these people. These wonderful people.
They need to know.
Again, I love you, Celine. Okay, I'd love to share the story of the first gas balloon. This can't be good.
Filled with beans.
Beans. Oh. This
You mean
takes
hot
place
air
in
balloon? It's a hot air balloon. Yeah. Okay.
Well, no, it's using gas. We'll see.
Right.
That's where the beans come in. You just light the fire and just
Got it.
some poor soul
all beans
or
are good for.
series of them. Yeah. The magical
If I
fruit.
had a balloon full of beans, you bet I'd send it to my friend right now. All right.
Ew.
Let me focus. Okay. This takes place. It's like being in class. Like talking to him, I feel like I'm about to get in trouble because I can't.
That's my entire childhood. Is everybody who sat next to me in school, all like K through grad school. I would just talk to whoever sat next to me.
I was the bad example friend. I was the like. Anyway.
Don't be like Hannah. Do your homework.
Yeah, actually, do your homework. She's going nowhere, and you know what? They were wrong.
Jokes on them. You're a podcaster.
I'm a podcaster. Okay, this takes place in 1783 France. In the summer of that year, two brothers, the Montgolfiers, constructed the first air balloon. About 2 summers after this, King Louis the 16th commissioned Jacques Charles, a French inventor and a scientist, to create the first gas balloon filled with hydrogen instead of hot air. With the help of the Robert brothers.
It's like a bomb.
Yeah. It's like, I know, let's fly this. Some inbred king being like, put gas in it. Put hydrogen in it. Yeah.
Put beans in it.
As he snorts snuff out of his super long pinky finger.
Yeah.
So with the help of I'll get through this. With the help of the Robert brothers, which are two brother engineers, they successfully built the balloon to be flown at the end of August. Getting there wasn't easy enough, though. There was a very interesting team dynamic going on. One brother would give Monsieur Charles the silent treatment every time he was screamed at, which was often, since he commonly had angry outbursts. August 27th, 1783 was launch day. It was set up where the Eiffel Tower is now. You want to know how they filled this balloon with hydrogen? Oh, just a casual 1,000 pounds of iron soaked in 500 pounds of sulfuric acid.
What the shit?
I thought it was gonna be like the silent treatment was so bad they just filled it with awkward tension and the balloon just flew up there.
And then they kissed. Oh yeah. I don't know where all this material came from, but I blame King Louis the 16th. Well, yeah. Now full of hydro during the French Revolution. They're like, this is for that gas balloon. Dude.
Yeah, that's the reason why the people rose up.
These people. Now full of hydrogen, the balloon takes flight and drifts north for about 45 minutes. People are following on horseback, full of excitement. This cannot end well. Here's where it went all wrong. Okay, it lands in a village called Gonesse. The villagers are terrified. Scared farmers.
Right.
Scared farmers mistook it as a monster from the heavens and attacked it with pitchforks, scythes, and knives.
It's like Frankenstein, attacking it. Speaking of Swartzwelder, that seems like
this horrible monster will eat us all.
Yeah, exactly.
One Paris newspaper later wrote, the creature, shaking and bounding, dodged the final blows. Finally, it received a mortal wound and collapsed with a long sigh.
Like a balloon just being released.
I am sorry for the very long tab. I'm going to move on. I'm moving on. But I found this so interesting and funny. I can't imagine being one of the scared farmers. Thank you guys so much for a fun podcast, and keep it Josie. Best, Celine. Thank you, Celine.
Any story that has, like I was saying earlier about the kids in a trench coat, pitchforks. Anytime there's angry villagers with the pitchforks and fire, that always makes me, I always laugh.
There's
I guess that's probably where I'm thinking of.
Villagers
like that's where
with pitchforks.
Pitchforks, Mobs. Simpsons love a good mob.
Man, I love The Simpsons.
I have to share the one closest thing I had to that reaction that the 18th century villagers had. is I was once, this is many years ago, and I was like, it was early in the morning. I was lying, I was asleep, and my girlfriend woke me up, and she said, Kaveh, I have to just confirm what you see outside. Is that real? And I looked at outside, and it was a mass. It was so far away, I can't tell how big it was, but it was as big as a building of the giant Mr. Peanut. You know, Mr. Peanut, the mascot, flying through the air so far away, but you could tell it's massive. Like it's got to be like 3 stories. It was a huge advertisement, but he's just floating in the air with like aimlessly, like seeming no direction, and just kind of like waving in the wind. And my girlfriend,
you're like, get a job.
Yeah,
just floating around aimlessly.
If that happened in America, it'd be like, get the guns out. We're shooting this demon.
Yeah. It's again, going back to Simpsons, it's like when the mascots came to life and they did it to get the billboards and stuff.
Just don't look. Don't look.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I've mentioned this before on the show that always cracks me up is that detail from Independence Day where they're showing all the footage around the world of the alien ships showing up before they do anything. Yeah. And then the Chiron on the American one says, please do not shoot your guns at the spaceship.
Right. Yeah.
And everyone's like, don't tell me what to do.
Yeah, exactly. I thought this was America. Yeah, exactly.
We can shoot whatever we want.
If you also have a listener email that you'd like to submit, please go ahead and send it to 500opentabs@gmail.com. Much like Celine did, we also love to hear a good voice memo if you'd like to read your email. It's a lot of fun to have on the show. Kaveh, not me. I'm talking to our guest, Kaveh.
Yes.
Thank you for the wonderful tab. It was awesome and hilarious.
This was fun. This was lots of fun.
We're sorry that, we're not surprised by this, but we are huge disappointments just in general. So sorry that we didn't have our own tabs for you, but it was nice to have a nice clean one tab that we got to talk about and got to, really let it breathe.
No, it's great.
Do you want to tell us?
Now. Yeah.
You are a trendsetter. I agree. Do you want to set the trend for our listeners to follow you, to watch your films, to learn more about what you've got coming up, what podcasts that you want to plug? Go ahead and let us know.
I mean, as a writer from the TV side, I was a co-executive producer and writer on a show called Late Bloomer. I think right now it's only in Canada, but if you are in Canada, season 3 is coming out on Crave in about April, but season 1 and 2 are already out. You can watch it. It's a fun comedy about the life of this YouTuber who kind of is trying to navigate his way through life. He's from Toronto. He's a Punjabi Sikh immigrant who'd moved here, and it's about his trials and tribulations of being a person of color in comedy, and it's really funny.
Nice. A bean content creator, hopefully. I'm assuming that's what his YouTube channel would be.
No, he's not a British person. What are you talking about?
Oh, no. That's right. Yeah. Sorry.
Look, don't appropriate my culture, my great great grandpa's culture, okay?
And then other than that, Cinema Rex is the podcast that we talked about. I'm really proud of it. And if you are interested in Iranian cinema and want to learn more about the movies, I think Iranians make the best movies in the world. They're masters. They're just such powerful, moving, emotional, human movies. So if you're interested in their films and you want to learn more, check out our podcast. We've probably covered some of the most popular ones, and check it out. You'll learn something.
Awesome. Yeah. One thing I've learned about Iranians is that there's thousands of years of storytelling in your blood, and it shows. Mm-hmm. So anyway,
very much
thank
so.
You
are you going to be? Are you going to go anywhere anytime soon? You're going to be on the road? Got any festivals to go? Do you have any other Stephen King projects in the works that you can let us know about beforehand?
No, I'm not leaving Canada anytime soon for the safety of my well-being. I think most of the Canadians I talk to, we're pretty happy just kind of staying pat and watching what happens and waiting it out before we make any trips down south. So I won't be in the U.S. region. And also, I'm a father of 2 young kids. So
you are?
I have a 5-year-old and a 1-year-old. 5-year-old daughter, 1-year-old son, and between that, I can't leave. I can't.
There's no time for anything. Yeah,
that's the exact ratio between. That's the exact time between my 2 kids.
I worked on a kid's. It's called Hamsters of Hamsterdale, which I can't get here yet in Canada, but I found clips of the episode I wrote.
Ooh.
It's like a Nickelodeon produced. It's almost like the Rugrats. I think some producers on the Rugrats worked on it.
Oh,
but it's hamsters that believe that their child that takes care of them, they think he's a king, so they're like servants to this king, and they always misunderstand. They misunderstand whatever he's going through. They always think they need to help him and save him.
That sounds great.
It's really fun. The characters are really charming and cute, and the episode that I got to write, I found clips of it, and all of a sudden my 5-year-old daughter just saw me watching it, and she was like, "What is that?" I'm like, "It's a show that Dad wrote. You want to check it out?" She took the phone and was just sitting there for half an hour watching. I was like, "This is a new thing that I didn't know I needed in my life."
Amazing.
That's awesome. Oh man. So it makes all the not sleeping worth all of it.
Yeah. now I can finally retire into my cabin in the woods where I will steal all the coffee tables around me and
perfect.
cut myself off.
And that's it. Don't even write. Just steal tables.
Just steal tables. Just coffee table hoarder.
Local table thief writes for a cartoon show. Okay.
You want to tell them where they can find us?
Oh, yeah. You can find me at Hannah Hillam and on anything.
You can find me at... Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. You've been doing a great job at this.
I've been doing a drawing a day. I'm going to try to do it every day of 2026. So far, I've only had one day where I didn't finish the drawing, but then I finished it the next day. But so far, so good. So
they're very detailed. I'm surprised at how much how fancy they look. Yeah, I thought if you were going to do a drawing a day, they wouldn't be as like intensely rendered as they are. But I'm like, how much time are you spending on these, girl?
I'm insane. You know that.
I mean, I knew that, but
no, I'm spending about an hour and a half. I'm trying to do it like, try to get back to my old form.
They look great.
And there's a bunch of new brushes that I've been trying. So that's why they all look different. Anyway, where can they find you?
I'm PermaFriends on Instagram. I've been posting a lot of posters lately because not sure if you know, but Iran's in full collapse right now. And at the time of this recording, they're still in an internet blackout. So I've been using my platform to try and share art that I make inspired by the Iranian people as they try and break the shackles of their disgusting, horrible, evil oppressors. Free Iran. Free Iran goes without saying. And of course, you can continue to follow this podcast. We're 500 Open Tabs on Instagram as well. We're on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed, please take a minute and do that now. And I guess that about does it. Kaveh, thank you again so much. It was wonderful to have you. We're so happy to have you as the first guest of the year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for your fantastic tab. Thank you for being part of the Kaveh community. Kaveh community.
Community. Yeah.
Yet another Kaveh to outrank me, which I'm happy to
I don't know about
announce.
that. You're an amazing artist. I can't draw for shit. It's the one art field that I really wished I could. I tried for years. I don't have that. My brain couldn't do it. So I'm jealous of artists.
You can do it.
I think
that
aspect.
Thank you.
Don't be.
That's cool.
It's cool. It's great to have friends across the border in case everything goes down. So hopefully maybe you can house us.
I will get the cabin in the woods ready for you guys.
Oh, please do.
With coffee tables everywhere.
Yes.
Kaveh tables.
Kaveh tables. Yeah.
Stupid joke. Anyway, thank you. And
thank you.
Everybody go listen to Cinema Rex.
Yeah. At Cinema Rex podcast on Instagram. I forgot to add that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
Free Iran. Bye.
Free Iran.